Welcome back. Former President Trump is looking to the fossil fuel industry to aid his 2024 re-election bid.
So here's what we know. Trump reportedly met with top oil execs at Mar-a-Lago last month, according to Washington Post, saying they should help him raise about $1 billion because they're wealthy enough. First of all, he also said the $1 billion would be a deal for them because they would get taxation and regulation cuts, and they could avoid those thanks to him. He would roll back Biden's clean energy and EV policies.
So what does this mean for the campaign trail? Joining us now to discuss is Sarah Bryner, Director of Research and Strategy with our partners at OpenSecrets, a nonpartisan nonprofit that tracks and publishes data on campaign finance and lobbying. So Sarah, right off the top here, is there any argument right now that this is illegal, or is this at most just unethical?
I think that it's very clearly unethical, but unless there was a very explicit quid pro quo, this is the kind of exchange that would be extremely difficult to make a legal case about, because it's pretty commonly understood that candidates will act in the interest of an industry with whom they are aligned, regardless of campaign donations. The unique situation here is that Trump is just being far more explicit about what a donation would get him than you usually see a politician being.
Well, I mean, to that point, the blurriness of it, you do have President Biden out there every week saying, you're going to get better bridges from me. You have Vice President Harris out there saying, you're going to, have abortion rights because of us. Why would Trump not be able to say, you get to drill because of me?
Well, the key here is that he's saying, if you give me $1 billion, that is a different can of worms than somebody saying my policy positions are X, Y, and Z. He's tying it very clearly to the fact that his campaign is in financial trouble and he needs this allied industry to help him out.
Sarah, let's set the record straight here. It is not legal for oil executives to directly donate $1 billion to Trump. That's far above the individual contribution limit, according to the FEC, of $3,300.
Slightly.
Just a little bit. Yeah. $3,300, $1 billion, it's close. How could these donors, though, legally siphon that money to Trump?
Oh, it's not that difficult because the Citizens United case and its companion, Speech Now, created super PACs, which in the last 15 years have become very tied to the candidates. And so Trump benefits from the support of super PACs, as does Joe Biden and many other candidates, I will say, that support his candidacy. And those political action committees can receive as much money as they want from any domestic source. So, it would be unprecedented, but it is possible for, BP or Exxon's United States arm to donate $1 billion to the super PAC supporting the Trump presidency campaign.
Sarah, let me flip this on its head a bit. In some ways, do you think it might be helpful to have more politicians just put it out there, say it? Like, we might not like what they're saying, but at least we would know their plans?
I think it's actually great for politicians to put out their specific policy plans. I think that's helpful regardless. I mean, you can think of Joe Biden saying, I'm going to forgive your student loans, or somebody's, the bridges example is a good one. I think more information about policy is always appreciated by the public. What I don't appreciate in this example is that he's giving this speech to a room filled with donors and saying, I will do these policies that will benefit you specifically. And the unstated but very important key here is if you give me $1 billion or support, me raising $1 billion.
Now, Sarah, you look into these cases all day long, cases like this one, stories like this one. Is there any similarity, looking bigger picture here, to any other massive drive for donations in order to get a specific item that you can think of in recent memory on either side of the aisle?
I'd say the closest examples probably have to do with politicians saying that they'll bring a specific company to a specific town. Now, again, the tie between getting money from that company or those people is never explicitly stated, but certainly a politician saying, hey, if I'm in office, I'm going to make sure that this company doesn't leave this community, is one of those fairly explicit promises. And I think the politician both expects and hopes that there will be financial compensation for that position that they're taking.
And Sarah, I guess bigger picture, so many Americans do not trust our system. They feel like the fix is in. They feel like if you have money, you have access. That means you have power. They hear something like this. I mean, maybe it's not illegal. Does it confirm people's worst fears, though, in a way?
Yes, I think that I think that's the case. And even if it isn't illegal, or even if it is, happening everywhere, I think having it painted in such a stark picture, just like you said, contributes to our cynicism about the way that government works. And maybe they appreciate, people have said this about Trump, they appreciate how he puts it all out there. He says what he thinks, he says how it works. But fact of the matter is, we don't usually see politicians saying, give me a lot of money and I will do X, Y, and Z, and then being able to follow through on that. What's more common is, broader positions, the sort of allied relationship between a specific area and then the issues that the politicians advocates for later. But this kind of almost donor cocktail party exchange of information for money is just, I'd say, depressing, and I think contributes to the problems that we're feeling as Americans.
I was wondering which word you were going to choose there at the end. Yeah, Sarah Bryner, Director of Research and Strategy with our partners over at OpenSecrets. As always, good to see you. Thank you.
Nice to see you guys. Thanks.
And ahead in the race, it's a hot